All right, so we're here on our inaugural episode of Rock the Block, and with me I have none other than Mia, and we're gonna get to learn a little bit about Mia herself. You know, we see her on TV, read about her in newspapers, but we don't really know Mia.
You don't know me, Steve?
I know Mia, but for the benefit of the others, we're gonna
No problem.
introduce her. Tell us a little bit about yourself, about you.
What do you want to know? Tell me.
Like for example, tell us about you growing up.
In terms of what?
In terms of being young and challenges back then. How were things?
Like anyone else, you had to focus on school, but I was always from young, very much interested in music. I couldn't sing or play an instrument properly, so I decided to manage.
Yeah.
And then two, I was also interested in cricket and table tennis. So, you know, that carried me pretty much along with the schoolwork. Like everyone else, I had the same challenges. I couldn't watch TV from Sunday night to Friday evening. I couldn't go out and do certain things. I mean, the usual Bajan household where the lines of discipline were kept fairly straight. And then if you had a chance, you would then step outside and rush back in as soon as you could.
Okay, so where do you go to school?
Miss Carrington, Maryville Preparatory at primary, and then Queen's College. And then I went on to LSE, London School of Economics.
All right, so
Although I had a small stint in there for about 6 months at the United Nations International School, and my father was in New York serving at the time.
all right, so what was the trends back then in terms of music, technology? What were the hot movies coming out? What was really going on?
Let me put things in perspective, Steve. The first video player became, I think, out when we were about 15 years old. So the notion of videotapes, DVDs, downloading movies just wasn't there. I mean, before that it was CBC Channel 8. Then we got videos back in around late 70s, 1980. But at the same time, because we couldn't watch TV during the week, we used to listen to a lot of radio and a lot of music. So for me, in terms of reggae, it was Jimmy Cliff, Bob Marley, Third World. It was pre-dancehall.
Yeah.
Dancehall started to become big in the 80s, but those guys were huge. I still remember the first time I heard Redemption Song come out, and because, as I said, you couldn't watch TV, I used to listen to a lot of radio.
Okay.
So therefore you knew what was coming out. I remember when Coming In From the Cold came out. I remember when Exodus was released as an album. You know, so those were the dominant influences. And then, of course, in terms of funk, it was Earth, Wind and Fire. Brothers Johnson, I came in at the end of Brothers Johnson. Those who were with Strawberry Letter Number 23 was a little ahead of me. You know, so that was the kind of thing. And then Toto and little soft rock and thing. And
I'm surprised, young lady, that you know about all of these album releases back in the day.
Spyro Gyra, that whole era of modern jazz, Spyro Gyra, Hubert Laws, all of those guys started coming in at the same time. But remember, because I had that interest in music, I kept broad, you know, and I loved old Kaiso and old reggae at the time too, so that made it even sweeter.
So what do you listen to and watch now? And what gadgets or technology are you into?
Basically, in terms of music, still the same types of music, just different albums, obviously, and more recent. I'm a big fan in terms of reggae of Tanya Stephens and Darius Riley and Dwayne Stevenson. In terms of the younger exponents of the art form. In terms of Kaiso, I still believe in some of the giants. I mean, yes, you'll get good one-off calypsos, but you really can't touch Gabby, Bag, David Rudder, Sparrow, Kitchener in terms of the classic of the art form. And you know I'm a Mac person, so you won't get into this argument here with me because I ain't going with no HTC One X.
For the record, it's Apple.
I might change from a BlackBerry to a Samsung Galaxy, but no, seriously, Mac for me has worked well, largely because, as you know, it syncs everything from the iPad to the iPhone to the office, and because a lot of my work is really on the go, this is functional for me and with the iPad, so you know that. In terms of, and then I have Apple TV.
Oh boy.
Because I don't get the chance to watch scheduled TV when I want, so every so often I might get a day or two and I say, all right, I zoning out, I cutting off, and I will sit down and watch a whole series of something in a 12 or 18-hour period.
So what series are you watching now?
I actually saw a good series out of England, iTunes England, called Silk. SILK, about a Queen's Counsel, a lawyer woman Queen's Counsel up there. I've been watching Planet Earth, but that's more because I am amazed by the beauty of the earth. And also when you can watch it in high def, it's just spellbinding, you know. And for somebody who may not get to see all these things, I like it bad. And then what was a good movie? That movie recently was Safe House with Denzel Washington.
Oh,
that was a wicked movie.
Really?
That was the last movie I watched this week.
You watch Avengers?
I didn't watch Avengers.
You should watch Avengers, though.
I waited to go. I couldn't get to the cinema here when it came out, and then I was preparing for budget and blah, blah, blah. So I get there, though.
Oh, what about Batman? Are you looking forward for Batman or no?
I prefer Spider-Man to Batman.
Oh, no, oh, no. Is it Spider-Man? Spider-Man, Batman?
I always prefer
Marvel.
Spider-Man to Batman.
Marvel.
I like Spider-Man comics. I used to like Archie comics. Those were the two that I like. I wasn't a Hulk person. Occasionally Batman, them kind of things.
All right, I can live with that. I can appreciate that. Spider-Man was one of my guys too, but Batman was the real. Yeah, but tell us a little bit more. You prefer WhatsApp or text messages?
I end up having to use both because I got so many different types of people trying to contact me. I probably am going to move away from the BlackBerry, that's the truth.
Okay.
I keep the BB just for BB messaging, but half the time I forget that I have it. So it loses its functionality because if it's not instantaneous, it really thing. And with WhatsApp now, at least it allows me to integrate with the map.
Pretty sure people are going to want to know, what club football team do you back? And we will not hold this against her. What club football team do you back?
I used to like Arsenal when I was in England.
Used to?
I appreciate the genius of Manchester United, but I wouldn't call myself a Man U fan. Okay. I was very happy when Man City did a certain amount of trunks in a little earlier in the year, late last year, because I think that it's always good to have people nipping at your heels because it brings out the best in you.
Cool. And what about...
But I'm more a cricket fan originally. That's the irony because, I mean, I ended up starting this football tournament. Yeah. But all through my life, traditionally, I was a cricket fan. Okay. I couldn't contemplate dealing. I wanted to show people that it was possible to turn a sport in Barbados semi-professional and in the region. And then I thought, to deal with cricket meant dealing with the West Indies Cricket Board. Yeah. And I thought, that's too much headache. Plus, the people who needed a voice, football has had such a bad rep in this country for so long that even though it is one of the most popular sports, probably motorsports, maybe the only one that equals it or eclipses it, that I felt that it was necessary to create a bridge between the sport and the money in a country that could be available to help build up the sport through sponsorship, through gate, through mobilization of people's resources in terms of paying at the gate, through paying players, etc. So that's why I went with the football, and it proved successful, certainly in terms of its acceptance by the Barbadian public, and we hope this year again to build on that.
Football is one of the most popular sports in the world.
That's right, and to be able to ensure that men could be paid for playing football at a time of the year when the least number of people are employed. September to November is an area that is dead economically generally, tourism across the board, in the retail sector, so that this allowed people then to be able to earn a living. I mean, we paid out over $300,000 to footballers in 10 teams, 220 footballers in a 10-week period.
And this also helps increase the standard of the players. Right. So when we got World Cup coming on again, we got the boys ready.
From on a medium-term basis, hopefully. I mean, we need to start working with more youngsters. We need to start keeping people focused, and we need to show people that there's a future in it. And there's some good work being done on the island. I think the Brewsters Trust people are doing, they have a summer camp going. This week it was for coaches. Next week I think it's for 5 to 9, and then 9 to 14 and 14 to 18, different groups over the whole summer. There's some other good summer camps going on. And private organizations that are doing stuff. So there's a lot of opportunity there, but we need to have it more focused. And then part of the problem is that we need venues, you know, and I hope that we'll be able to resolve that issue, because I really feel that every parish should have some kind of enclosure on the ground, plus bleachers. Have one ground that at least is enclosed with bleachers accommodating 2,500, 3,000 people, and then lighting, because that allows you or any of these fellas around here to organize something without you having to be anybody big, be able to charge a $2, $5, $10 admission, and to start to commercialize talent and opportunities in the country, and that's what people want.
So tell me, you jumping?
I ain't jumping this year.
You want jumping this year? Okay.
I have always been the kind of person who will come on the truck, watch the truck, get off, jump a little bit, come back on.
So if you like, we might see you.
The last major T-shirt band that they had in Crop Over was myself and John King and Chris Allman's signature. With UE. This got to be mass, and we had what, 1,500 people at the time.
That's quite a lot.
In the early 90s. And trust me, I made so much rum punch down at my house. I was tired making rum punch. I made rum punch from 6 o'clock in the evening till about 3 o'clock the next morning before we went for the road.
Yeah, man.
So I had my days of that.
And you know, speaking about things you do, we're here at your South Slime. I've been here before. I quite enjoy South myself.
I'm glad.
So what was the idea behind this?
Well, it's a way on Saturdays I see constituents. I see people from all over the island as well. As you know, there's a lot of young people who come in, have a little idea, want to talk, want a little advice, or how can I do this? How can I commercialize? How can I access assistance? At the same time, I have another crowd of people here in the background who get an opportunity to meet one another and to bridge. My pet topic is that Barbados has to create opportunities for people from different backgrounds, different ages, different genders, different races. If we don't create bridges for people to meet and create synergies, then we don't get the best of who we are. That's the beauty of the Caribbean. That's the beauty of Barbados. And we try here in our own little way. You come here, you see poor people, rich people, black people, white people, Indian people, as you know, young people, old people, flammers, people who not flamming, all kind of people. You understand? And it helps to do the little pudding and sauce to help offset, to keep the grounds a little clear and to keep the place a little clean. And we tend to be here on Saturdays from about 12:30 till about 6. But at the same time in the office I get to see people who I need to see on substantive business. So it works well.
So this being my particular field and what's not, I'm going to ask this question. How you feel about the progression of the creative and the technology industries? How you think it could
you just wanted to give me a chance to talk again about the $20 million fund that we've promised to establish once we go back into government for redefining innovation, especially in areas of technology and new industries, cultural industries. There's so many young people who I know who are now into the development of software, the development of apps, the development of games, the development of videos and other IT and camera-related, film-related stuff, that we need to create a platform that, one, gives them access to the best training, two, gives them access to the best equipment, even if not by purchase, through renting or micro-leasing, three, gives them access to the platforms that make the determination as to where things are distributed. So our weakness in music, as with small hotels and tourism, as with small manufacturing, is always distribution and promotion. Most of our innovators don't have the depth of pockets to cover the marketing costs or the distribution costs that are necessary. So if government can come in the same way that we do for the Barbados Tourism Authority, through the Barbados Tourism Authority for the small hotels, then it creates the platform for young entrepreneurs in Barbados who are innovators in this area. What are the major platforms for the development and distribution and marketing of games or software or apps globally? How can we get a team there? Just as we send a team now of musicians to Midem in France as one of the major music conferences, how can we get that kind of presence with the government helping the underwriting of that? And then at the same time, pick some winners in terms of those that may need a little more push to make the final distance, because remember, our development costs are fractional in comparison to other countries and other people across the world. So therefore we need far less to get a return. It's like music. We can produce a song here and a good song and market it probably for less than 10,000 US. So therefore a fella makes a serious return if he's able to sell and have concerts that bring in 100,000 US is a 10 times return for him. That same person recording in the States going to record for 150, 200,000 US. So their threshold point is much higher. in terms of a return. So we have that ability to be nimble and flexible, and government needs to be able to help give you that push to be so.
All right.
We also need to be able to have some labs, I believe, where people can go in and process and synergies can come together, because I don't know what's going to happen when you and this one and that one come together, because that's synergy creates or enhances genius.
Yeah.
Synergy enhances genius.
Collaboration, definitely. All right, so I really can't do Rock the Block without talking about another issue. You know, we got a lot of youngsters, and I always tell people there are a lot of talented, individuals there in Barbados. So you encounter a lot of people with very high IQs that want to have a lot of opportunities on the block. They're talking about the things they would like to do, the things they can't do. They would like to get a job. They like to do this. I don't know how do you see going forward? How can we help these people? And what? Because I mean, they are the youth and they are tomorrow, and they really need to get. And the number is growing, right?
It's a hard time for young people, but it's a good time also to be young. And what do I mean by that? Most young people feel, man, the others before me had it easier. But if ever you have to face hardship, it is better to do it when you're young and with minimal responsibilities than when you're older and have multiple responsibilities. And there is something about facing difficulties that builds character. Look, the first time I ran in the elections, I lost. It is the best thing that ever happened to me, because it taught me what to do and what not to do.
It should always be a humbling experience.
So that's what I mean when I say that it is hard, but it's also the best time for you to go through this type of experience. Now, one of the things that bothers me, and I keep talking about it, is that in a sense, since independence, we've created new forms of establishment without realizing that there's still a lot of people trying to knock on the windows and knock on the doors to get inside. And in the same way that the old people used to tell you, open the windows and air the house, we almost have to open the windows and air the nation, so that you don't have to know somebody, you don't have to beg a favor, you don't have to plead with somebody, man, give me a chance, or I want to meet this person to talk to them, I got this thing they want to do. You should be able to, on merit, be able to access funding, access opportunities, see people, have appointments without having to know somebody. You should not have to tell people, this is who I am, or this is where I come from, or I need a favor. All that nonsense, God. The only way we are going to build the best type of society is by creating the platform for opportunity. Nobody knew when Gary Sobers was going to be the best cricketer in the world, where he was coming from, but he had an opportunity to play cricket and he was nurtured in that environment. Nobody knows who's going to be the next Bill Gates or Steve Jobs. It could be out of here. But if we don't create the opportunities and the platforms for people to be able, first and foremost, to be exposed and then to find their way. That's why when I was Minister of Youth and Culture, I invested so heavily in sports and cultural training island-wide through the Ministry of Youth Affairs, because I don't know where the next genius is. I can carry you now and show you people whose family never went to university, who touched a volleyball and ended up being so good at volleyball that they end up with scholarships to the US and have come back down here now and are teaching in a way that if they had never gone to that training program that evening, they would not be a recipient of a first degree and a master's degree in teaching and be the first body in their family to go to university. And that's what I mean about opening up. You know that right now, I don't ask the questions. You come and meet me and tell me you want to talk to me. And we start talking a year, 18 months ago. And I believe that it takes me 2 minutes to listen to somebody and to determine, can I help? And if I can't, who can help? And if you can give yourself that opportunity to be generous of spirit, so that you can listen to somebody for 2-3 minutes and make that judgment and either help them or point them in the right direction, then we'd be a better place. Because there's a golden rule that all of us learned when we were small. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you.
Definitely. And that was one of the things that stick with me from my granny, God bless her soul. Exactly. I remember that. I tell people that every day.
It's true. If you live by that rule, you can't go wrong. If you don't want to be treated badly, don't treat nobody badly.
And another thing, I'm glad I heard you says that I'm glad the understanding that a platform needs to be developed to give opportunities to those that need it the most. And to be honest, I think it's definitely necessary. So
and that's why I feel that the media needs to be open. Now, luckily, internet has opened up other opportunities. But the notion that we have a monopoly in television, that you should be able to regulate who has the right to speak through broadcast, is a nonsense. Yes, you license people to control them, to make sure that there's no lewdness, etc. But the market will determine, the people will determine who they want to listen to or who they want to watch. Give people a chance to open up and express themselves.
Indeed. So in terms of restaurants, where you like to eat?
You want your sister to abuse me now? At the high end, the low end, the middle end, I like food, as you can see. I try to control it. But Saturday would tell you, since I like sauce, I like pork.
Yeah.
Restaurants at the high end, I like from the Just Grillings, which is consistent and affordable, to the occasional chin chin, which is a little more up there.
Yeah.
I like also sushi sometimes. All right, Starboy. Sushi sometimes. I love burgers. I regrettably in Barbados I find you don't get burgers. So all the time I do my own burgers more and more, because a burger is supposed to be not a 3 ounce or 4 ounce patty that somebody pat down there and slap down. A burger is supposed to be a burger.
Yeah.
You understand? I like it medium well. So the juices are still supposed to be in it, and it's supposed to be cooked a certain way.
All right.
You know, but I like to barbecue too. But I will tell you that this year, and maybe it's a thing of age catching up, I probably eaten about 70% fish now. You understand? It's happened to the best of you. So you can as well start early, because the truth is that, you know, the Chinese say about balance, the yin and yang, and balance, the Taoist philosophy and traditions. If you have balance in your life, you can withstand most things. Too far east, as your people would tell, is west. So keep the balance, keep level, and we will be good both physically, mentally, and spiritually.
All right, so I'm not going to keep you any so much longer. One more question. What advice would you give to a young person that's interested in making positive change in the country and within the region and within the world? What advice would you give that to someone coming from such a small island? What can an individual do?
Start with the small things and build up. There's no magic to making a difference. You know, Gandhi says the change begins with me. So how I treat you now, how I treat him when he wants to find out something from me, how I refrain from cursing them because they irritate me, that's the beginning of change. Okay? And if people begin to understand that the small things eventually lead to the medium things and then the large things, then those are the things that make change monumental and transformational in the end. You know, one of the problems that we have is that colonialism set out to rule and divide. But our natural culture, particularly the majority coming from the African and Amerindian cultures, is essentially about the circle and consensus, which is different from the linear aspects of an accusatorial, adversarial system. And in a sense, we are trying to manage both, because one was imposed on us through governance, but the other one is inherent in us. And the only way we're going to be able to do it is by learning to change how we deal with people. So some of these small changes. Somebody can tell you that they don't like X without telling you they don't like you. A statement of disagreement on a fact is not a statement that the person doesn't like you. That is one of the biggest changes that young people can do to change from previous generations, because it is the sociology of smallness that is hanging us as a people and as a country. I can say to you, Steve, I don't like how you filming that, but I still love Steve Fung.
You will have to.
With that smile, I got a choice. But you understand what I'm saying? All right, David. So that those are the things that we have to begin to appreciate in terms of the small things that make a difference. Being there for people who can't take care of themselves, big difference.